Most people do drugs to escape their thoughts and life, while the artist does drugs to excite thought and life around them. Sometimes there's no need for any drug because life is bizarre naturally, and that is where this story brings us. You see, I'm a writer by trade, or by dream is more accurate. I'm mostly laboring with the service or craft to pay the bills, but when I'm free of time, I will always sit down and work on my writing. I have published 2 books so far, but I'm still looking for the perfect story for the new modern age. I've been struggling to decide where my new story will go, romance or true crime. But that's not on my mind right now. At this moment, I'm actually sleeping. I'm fast asleep after a long Friday night at a friend's housewarming party I was still recovering from, a couple drinks and laughs. The older I get, the less I'm known for being a wild party goer, despite my various friends' protest over the years. But my beauty sleep was interrupted abruptly by my phone ringing across the room. I stumbled out of my bed with my eyes half open and burning from the sunlight busting through the thin cloth of an excuse for a curtain. I answer. Hello? Yeah. Hi, son. You see, I'm not only a single writer and a single man, but I'm also a single father. And seeing as it's Saturday, according to the court of law, it's my scheduled time to plan my hours with my 2 sons. Now, I must say, I wish I could have back every day with them. I wish every day of the week they were in my custody. But to keep the peace in all our lives, I decided it was wise to work with their mother. Ironically, she was clumsy with planning, so it was always left to a game of phone tag with my 10-year-old. Great, right? He is mature, but I hate having him in the middle. But when I mention this, he always reminds me how much easier life is when he and I work it out together. No risk of sudden arguments, which can be oh so uncomfortable. The conversation continues. Okay, so you want to meet at noon? That works for me. Oh no, you're going to be dropped off here. Okay, what time? 1 o'clock works for me too. What did she say? Oh, alright, 5 works. Whatever you guys want to do. Oh, she's a hair appointment, okay. I'll call you at 3. Alright, goodbye for now, I love you too. Click. Confusing as always, but it will sort itself out later. I just needed a little more sleep and maybe some soup. I laid there for a little longer, dreaming about making some soup and flopping in front of the TV for a few, when suddenly the phone rang again. Luckily it was close to me and I picked it back up. Yeah? What's up? Oh, okay. Alright. That's fine with me. The dog? Well, for a few hours I suppose that's alright. Alright, I'll be here all night. Just let me know a time. 5? Okay, great. I'll talk to you then. I love you too. Bye. The phone turns off as it falls out of my hand and onto the floor. I swear I didn't have more than 6 drinks last night. I used to be a contender. Now I'm a lightweight. Maybe even, God forbid, on my way to featherweight. Maybe it was the smoke from all the smokers around me. If you can't beat 'em, join 'em, they say. But I've never tried setting myself on fire. I was able to get myself up from the bed and clean myself up. Luckily, I had between 3 and 8 hours to get ready for the children's arrival. I started to heat my soup on the stove and put on a film that was... It's older by modern standards, but not a classic by too much time yet, if that makes sense. I'll refrain from the title for now, but I will say it's a spoof of the old film noir detective stories. Stories of femme fatales and double crosses and murder, and I was curious to get some inspiration on making my decision between romance or true crime for my new story. Some time went by, movie was on in the background, I was working on some writing notes, and letting my mind wander. Some more time passed and I had music on in the background for hours. Between writing, snacking, thinking, and wondering, I found that it was 3 in the afternoon and I still had not heard back from the kids. And the one text I sent never got a reply. Not that that was an unusual thing, but hope was not lost. I had 2 more hours until one of the times we decided on would reach their zenith. I wanted some company, but I didn't want to invite anyone over, so I got suited up and made a walk down a few blocks to a local restaurant where a special lady friend of mine was working. She was a professional practitioner of the healing arts by day, but a few nights a week she made some extra money working for a family restaurant. They had killer food, and seeing her pretty face always made me feel better. That's why she was so successful in everything she does. You see, people can't help but enjoy their time spent in her presence, which I must say was very intoxicating and can bring out anyone's affections and endearing behavior. I ordered a coffee and sandwich to mull over my story options. I was half satisfied with the results of some angles I was developing, but there was still no direction yet. My friend, for her protection I'll use the name Lucy. Lucy was not too busy right before the dinner rush was about to start. I didn't want to keep her, so we had some nice chit-chat, and I used my eyes to remind her of my affections. She used hers to return the sentiment, and then I was back on the street on my way home. For a moment, I stopped thinking about the story and began to think about Lucy. We both had some things in life to work through before we make it serious, as that's how sincere is really how I deeply felt. I'm a loyal person at heart. I didn't want to pressure her, but I also didn't want her to think I'd just let her go without being patient and sincere for the right timing. Timing is everything, as they say. It was one of those situations where you meet someone unexpectedly, then suddenly you feel falling head over heels, but don't want to jump off the cliff together too fast. Maybe I can use this scenario in my story. What kind of love is my character searching for? What kind of crime is my character waiting for? I was walking back up my street and almost at my door when I noticed my neighbor's car door was open. What almost appeared to be a body slumped half outside the doorway. I was concerned and felt the need to investigate, and yet I hesitated so as not to appear being intrusive. Walking up a little closer, very slowly, I crept up toward the SUV. And then to my right, I heard a rustle in the trees by the fence, and I saw a shadow, a body of a tall man reaching up and climbing up over the fence. He landed hard on the other side of the fence and began to run off. I say man because that's what it sounded like. I ran up to the fence but could see no one by the time I got there. I moved fast, back over to the driver's side door where I saw a woman beginning to stand up from the ground. "Are you okay?" I asked. "Yes, thank you. I don't know what happened. I was getting out of my car and someone pulled me to the ground. I bumped my head, and then you appeared." "I'm sorry I wasn't here sooner. Whoever the guy was, it looks like he got away for now. Should I call the police? I mean, of course I should, but is it impolite not to ask?" "Why do you ask that? You act as if I had it coming to me." No, not at all. You just never know what circumstances you're walking into. I could have minded my own business. I wanted to be sure everyone was all right." "Well, you did your job. I appreciate that. But I'll go inside now and get some ice for my head." "Hey, I'm willing to help you, inside if you need help, if you need a hand, but I'm not trying to force myself in. I'm happy to turn right around and go home. I'll be all right. Again, thank you. I believe we've seen each other, but never actually met. Seeing as we're neighbors and all, my name's Mark Fearson. It's nice to meet you, Mark. I'm Nina. Good night for now, neighbor." "Good night," I said as she faded into the shadows and onto her porch and into her house. Strange creatures women are. I walked back to the front of my house. Luckily, I still had some time left to watch a game of my favorite hockey team. My favorite part of fall and winter is the hockey season. Sports in the background was always a preferred soundtrack for my writing. If the noir spoof earlier helped inspire some writing for a romance story, perhaps some ice hockey could entrance me into a thrilling crime novelist. I sat for about an hour with my laptop and notes strewn around my couch and floor when I surprisingly heard a light knock at the door. It couldn't be Lucy. She was still at work. Maybe the kids never called back but are just getting dropped off here. Whoever it was, I was heading down the stairs to find out. Who could it be? To my surprise, it was my neighbor, Nina. She looks upset and frightened. Now, I must say, before going forward, that although I am happily content with my budding relation to Lucy, when an attractive woman such as Nina, she ends up on your doorstep, you can't help but wonder what could be the trouble to find her here at my door. What would you do? Turn her away? You're right, I'll do just the opposite. So opening the door, I begin my best attempts to be kind and helpful, but also get her out of here so I can watch the game and work on my story. You know, it's not, you don't want to make a neighbor think you're unwelcoming, but at the same time, I got shit to do. Hi, I say. What are you doing here? Everything okay? No, listen, Mark. Is that alright if I visit with you for a little while until it's safe at my house? Safe? Why don't you call the police about this? I can't. This is not... Well, that is not right now. I need to explain. Please help me. Well, you can come in and call them if it helps, but I'm not trying to get involved with your business. Something tells me I should be wise to not get mixed up in this shit. I left the door open and walked back up the front stairs. I heard the door close and her feet coming up the stairs following me into the living room. Hey, look, I'm watching the game and working on some writing. You can call the police anywhere you want. The kitchen might be quieter. I don't want to call right now. Please just let me wait with you a little while. Then everything will be fine. I can try to explain to you, but it's a confusing story. No, it's all right. Save it for the police. I'm not security around here. I've got a story to write, but I must say this situation is a little inspiring for a crime angle in the story I'm working on. What kind of story is it exactly, Mark? Well, it's partly romance and partly true crime. I'm just not sure how it unfolds yet, but I've got a plot and some narration written down so far. A few more weeks and I'll have a framework. Well, anyways, I'm gonna get back to it. I guess for now, make yourself at home. But in less than an hour, I'll have to kick you out. I'm waiting to hear back from my kids. At some point, they're getting dropped off. Or I might have to go meet them. I don't know yet, so I'm still waiting to find out. Really? Well, which is it? A lie is usually better when you stick to the story, Mr. Writer. Well, with that story, you never know what's going to surprise you next. And for now, it's quiet, so I'm gonna get some work done. I worked on my story for some time, and I tried to ignore the awkward presence of an unexpected guest. She sat and watched the hockey game like a mindless zombie. Clearly there was something on her mind that was running laps, and I wanted nothing more than to kick her out. I heard my phone buzz and checked to see, expecting the kid's text message, but instead it was Lucy. She was out of work and wanted to stop by. Now, when Lucy says she's close by after work, it means she's basically already on the street and about to walk up the stairs. Now look at this situation. I didn't want Lucy to find me here with Nina and get stuck explaining something that will leave her thinking I was just making up another story. If only my writing could be this dramatic, maybe I'd have some better material to work with. Oh no, hey, Nina, look, you've got to go. You need to go, or you need to hide. My lady friend is stopping by to say hi. I don't want her getting the wrong impression, Well, nothing bad is going on here, Mark. I can explain everything. No, there's no time. It would be a waste of time. Quick, go into the closet in my bedroom and I'll come get you when she leaves. She's not likely to stay long. She has to drive a few miles back home after work later, I was about to steer Nina into my bedroom, which sounds terrible as it is, when I heard the back door opening. I liked when Lucy would let herself in. She's the only one I ever said it's okay, and usually she never does. But the one time she does let herself in, I have an unwanted, attractive woman that I'm trying to stash away because I hate explanations and hope to never set eyes on my neighbor again. Hey, Lucy, what a pleasant surprise. Luckily, Nina was able to get into the closet in the living room on time. I wanted to see you again, Mark. I hate driving by your house when I'm heading home. Sometimes it doesn't feel right not to stop and give you a hug and kiss. We embrace and kiss. The world is still and peaceful for a moment, but her woman's intuition is strong. What's going on, Mark? Something seems wrong. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. It's just been a strange night. I've been waiting to hear back from the kids, I'm sorry I barged in. I never do. I feel like I'm interrupting something. No, not at all. I'm just here watching the game like usual and trying to work on some of the new writing, romance, crime, that stuff. There's nothing else going on here. Nope, not at all. You're acting very strange, Mark. I think I'll go. I'll be in touch. Oh, but Lucy, darling, it's okay, I swear. But before I could plead my case, she walked to the kitchen and out the back door. She was gone. I wanted to go after her, but I knew we would talk later. And once this situation was resolved, I would explain everything to her. Total truth. But first, I need to get rid of my neighbor. You can come out now, I say to Nita. Hey, look, I think it's time you go now. I can't have you here. Well, if it's not good for me to be here, can you come over to my place so I feel safe? I really don't think that's a good idea. I walk you over, but I can't stay long. Please, Mark, I don't feel safe there now. I'm not happy about it, but I agree to walk over and check on the house to make sure no one is lurking around inside or out. We walk around to her house, and inside she says she's tired, wants to go to bed. I say I'm willing to stay up in the living room for at least a half hour, at least to make sure nothing happens. A little placation never hurts. Please stay longer, she says. You can use the couch. I agree, but no, I won't stay long. Nina, do you get the channel with the hockey game at least? She helps me with the TV and then goes off to bed. I sat up for a while, but found myself nodding off. The sleepy silence around me begins to take over. I check my phone. The kids have still not gotten a hold of me. It's now about 6:30 p.m. And like you, I'm wondering why the hell she wanted to go to bed so early. My eyes begin to roll back again when I hear a strange noise in the other room. I get up to investigate. Why am I even here? Why do I care? This has nothing to do with me. Being a man, I'm de facto put into the position of protector, even blindly. I go to find her room to tell her I'm leaving. When I knock on the bedroom door, I hear no answer. So I pop the door open a little. As the door opens wider, I can see Nina on the floor, but she's tied up. Going over, and I don't mean sensually, going over in a rush, I go to release her from the ropes when I feel a heavy arm try to hit me from behind. We wrestle, and then I hold him down. He tells me he is her boyfriend. I look to Nita to confirm this, and she does, but hesitates. Releasing her from the ropes, she says she's still afraid of him, but looking around at this kooky situation, I become fed up. This is dumb. I'm going home. You two can settle your own problems, play your own games without me. I've got a story to write. Finally getting home, I was taking off my jacket when suddenly I see the shadow of someone approaching me from behind. Turning around, I'm expecting to get beaten up again, but to my pleasant surprise, it's Lucy. I was not feeling right about how I left, so I came back. I knocked, I waited, then I came in and didn't find you here, like you left in a hurry. The TV's still on. Then I see out the window you're coming back from the neighbors. Mark, please tell me what's going on. Well, aren't you the detective? I can't hide from you, huh? Not that I'm trying to. There's nothing to hide. I can't completely, explain right now. It was nothing. The neighbor, she wanted my help, but there was nothing I could do. Yes, she was here earlier, but only because she didn't feel safe and wanted my help. I didn't want you to think I was being weird, although hiding her kind of made that worse, ironically. I promise it was nothing. I got her home and came right back here. She has a nutty boyfriend that was causing her trouble, I guess. So I said, you know what? Deal with your own problems. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I trust you, Mark. That makes me feel better. You don't have to lie to me. We hug and kiss some more, and then say goodbye. I walk her out and stay on my porch a while. I begin to roll a cigarette. All this stress has me needing a little nicotine fix, but before I can finish my roll, I feel a different heavy hand lay a clean blow on the back of my head. This time I wasn't ready, and I was knocked right out. I woke up sitting on my couch, but this time I was the one tied up. All right, buddy, tell me your story. I'm Nina's husband, and I saw you coming out of there just a few moments ago. Now why not leave my wife alone? You already have a beautiful woman to visit you, it looks like. Look, pal, I don't know who you are. Nina has a husband? She never said that. She came here looking for help from some guy earlier. Someone knocked her down outside her car, then ran off. I don't know, was that you or him? When I walked her home to be sure she was safe, I was attacked by some other guy saying he was her boyfriend. Well, look, I don't know what kind of games you people play, but it's made me miss my hockey game, and I still haven't gotten any work done on my book yet. Okay, so you're not the secret boyfriend, but now I gotta go over there and bash this guy's skull in. I hear my phone ringing and look over. The kids are finally calling me back. Hey buddy, you can go bash whoever's brains you want, but before you go, could you please untie me so I can answer the phone? Nina's husband left as I was answering the phone. Yes? Hi. Oh, no dog this time? Okay, that's fine. You'll be here in an hour. That's great. Okay, love you too. See you soon. Bye. Racing down the stairs and outside, I'm able to intercept the husband. Hey man, look. I don't think you should kill anyone. Maybe you should let me go and do the talking. Stay here and stay calm. I'm gonna go over and try to resolve this. Maybe I can get this guy to leave so you can talk to her at least. What are you doing with that beer? He says. Well, I'm gonna spill it on me and drink a little. They'll smell it and think I'm a raving lunatic, drunk guy. Maybe it will get them off guard, break the barrier. I can scare him off by saying I met you and you want to bash his brains in. Before you do any bashing, you should probably let me at least give him a warning to give him a chance to run. So I got nice and fake drunk and walked over to knock on the wild neighbor's door. She lets me in and the boyfriend is immediately upset. All right, what the hell are you doing back here? Okay. Look here, old chap. I met her husband earlier, and he wants to bash your brains in. I'm trying to help you. You better get out of here, buddy. And I'm not just saying that because I'm super drunk. I'm not afraid of that fool, he says. We were actually just plotting his murder. Nina tries to silence him, of course out of fear, but he continues on. Oh, don't worry about it, Nina. This drunk fool won't remember anything. We'll be a vague dream in his hungover haze tomorrow. I really couldn't stand another day like this, I said. What's that? The boyfriend says. Nothing. Forget it. I feel my pocket buzzing and look to see it's the kids calling again. Hello? Yes? Okay. You're dropping the dog off now. All right. I'll be right there. I'm next door at the neighbor's. Hold on. All right. I told you all I can. If he shows up to kill you, that's on you. Well, all three of you. Whatever. This isn't even my business. Huh? Yes, I'm still here. I'm walking over now. Just hang on. I'll be right there. So I leave Nina and her boyfriend, hoping that my words of wisdom were able to ring true. But who knows? Romance and crime apparently are not my business. But dog sitting for a little while looks like it's on the horizon. I get home disgruntled to have missed my hockey game. Watching the highlights, I sit with the dog. The kids had to run off with their mother to some place for a few hours and will be dropped off later. I love the dog. He's a young American Terrier, and as dogs will tend to do, he needed to go outside. All right, come on, Maple, let's go outside. Taking him outside by the sidewalk, I happened to see Nina, who was out there with her tiny dog. Now the dog made not a peep whenever I was inside tonight, but whenever she lets him out, for the past few months she's had this little dog, he never stopped yelping. I don't know what he's trying to protect. I'm pretty sure a grasshopper could kick his ass. Together with my son's dog, Maple, we stood there, and her little dog, we stood there under the streetlight. She says to me, "Well, Mr. Writer, I hope the drama of tonight helped inspire some good ideas for your story, if you ever get back to it. Actually, I kind of wanted to make a true crime thriller. So far, it's been some petty romantic triangle, which has completely turned me off from writing a love story. But in order for there to be a good thriller, there first needs to be a true crime. Tonight, we've yet to find any dead bodies." We begin to laugh at the humor of the situation when out of the blue we hear a sharp gunshot go off inside her house. "Maybe now you have your murder," she says dryly. We both rush into her house to see what the hell happened. The dogs are let loose and chasing behind us. Anyways, I got back home with the dog just in time to miss the replay of the game highlights. I figure at least I can work on some writing before the boys get dropped off. It turns out the husband did show up. They struggled and the boyfriend shot the gun, but it missed the husband and almost hit the cat. Fortunately, no one was hurt. And I don't mean the dog that's the size of a cat. I made Nina call the police, and I was able to slip away without being caught up in the bullshit of being an eyewitness. It's not like I'm a private eye or something, far from it. Just a single dad trying to watch his sports and write the next best-selling crime/romance novel. Suddenly, hopefully the last one of the night, I hear a knock on the door. I go to find Lucy is back. "I'm sorry for how I acted," she says. "I drove around and couldn't go home again. And then I had a great idea. By the way, did you know there's a ton of cops on your street? Looks like something happened next door." "Yeah, you don't say," I said. "I don't even want to think about it. Say, what was your great idea?" Lucy walks in the door and puts her arms around me. "Well, I wanted to give you some inspiration for that romance story." We kiss right as the dog gives up a little howl. We share a warming kiss, a perfect ending to my bizarre evening. So that about does it. That's how my romance story became a true crime story and then ended on a romantic note. Maybe my story will have more murders than lovers next time, but either way, the bodies are sure to be piling up. Tonight it was just another single dad mystery. A truly romantic crime.